Hey guys, it's KJM and it's TBT, and usually I do these videos in the mornings after I do my morning workout and I shower and I'm like my best and I give y'all all I got. Well, right now I have a headache. It's way later in the day. I didn't realize I needed to drop this video until I thought about what my schedule looks like tomorrow. So needless to say, you're kind of getting grumpy KJM with a headache. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube, click subscribe. If you're not following me on IG and TikTok, you need to be doing so. Okay, so my energy is low, but I think that's actually perfect for this video. And let me tell you why. So it's fall. We're officially in autumn. We're still in the retrograde. So I'm going through a lot. Like I said, I have a headache, so bear with me. Some of this may come across as attitude. Okay, I don't gatekeep when it comes to certain tips about whether it's fitness, wigs, whatever. I share them. And as we're getting into autumn, deeper into autumn, the winter is coming. Some of us are going to go through seasonal depression. These fitness videos, I'm going to focus more on how to guide you mentally than physically, I think, than I ever have before. So I actually have a sister that is a personal trainer. My baby sister is a personal trainer. I am not a personal trainer. I'm just like you watching this video. I don't get super psyched about working out, and I'm about 3.5 years into my fitness journey. But I'm just being real. Real people are not like waking up early and be like, yeah, I want to work out. Like, that's not even it. And I'm a morning person, but it doesn't mean that every morning I actually feel like getting up and working out, or I like hit the mat and I'm like, yeah. Okay, so when I give you tips, I'm going to be speaking from my exercise, which is yoga, but you can definitely fill in the blanks and whatever your exercise is or whatever it is that you're practicing, whether it's running or, boxing or Zumba or whatever the hell it is, you can fill in the blanks and try to see if some of my tips actually help you. So over the last couple years, I've heard people ask me a lot of questions, how I've managed to start transforming my body. As some of you know, I went through something very traumatic in 2018 with my family. And then all of a sudden I put on a lot of weight, just from stress. And it was weight I just wasn't comfortable with. And then in 2019, I started my yoga journey, March 2019. And I really started it because I was having some other issues, and mentally I just felt like I was slipping away from my body. So I started yoga for the 90th time, thinking I was going to quit it within 2 weeks. Well, here we are 3.5 years later, and I'm still very committed to my yoga practice. I'm a normal person. So I like doing these videos because I'm not a personal trainer, but I'm a normal person that will tell you, for the most part, these recommendations should help you out in your fitness regimen. Now, I will disclaimer and say, these are just recommendations. I'm not telling you what to do. These are just things that worked for me. Also, I will also say that hardly anyone brings this up, but genetics really does play a role in fitness and your body as you get older, like your family genetics. So I'm able to get away with having a certain kind of diet and it still works for my body, like eating a whole bag of Reese's Pieces. That may not work with you and your family genetics. It's just whatever, okay? So I'm just gonna give you some tips that I think really work for me, especially if you're a really busy person, because I run a very crazy schedule. And just trying to keep up with it sometimes is a lot. So I am a morning person, but morning person just literally means like, I like mornings. I like to read in the mornings. I like to meditate in the mornings. I don't always feel like working out. For example, this week, every day I have rolled out of bed because it's been dark and the sunrise has started later. And I usually like to practice yoga to the sunrise because it's been dark. I'm getting out of bed. I'm grumpy. I'm starting maybe my workout 10 or 15 minutes later than I really should be. I'm trying to adjust to the changes and the time change that's coming because I'm very sensitive to the shorter days, right? So that's the first thing I want you to get out of your mind, that every day when you're on your fitness journey, you're going to want to get out of bed and you're going to want to do it. Just wipe that out of your mind. If you're looking for that kind of motivation, like hire a trainer that's literally gonna like pull you out of bed. I remember when I started yoga, I really thought like Richard Simmons could just come and pull me out of bed and really motivate me to want to exercise, but that's just not how it works for most of us. So if you're waiting to turn into that diehard fitness person where you're gonna jump out of bed and you're gonna be like, yay, today I want to work out. This is me most mornings when I get up. I'm like giving the middle finger to the air. Okay, but within 5 minutes of me working out, my mood literally already starts to change. So that's the first thing. If you think being really hard on yourself and then you gotta be die hard and whatever, like sometimes you get up and you make your kids breakfast. You don't really want to be making them kids breakfast. You gotta take them to school. You don't really want to drop them off to school, but you do it, right? But you do it. It's the same thing with fitness. First thing is going to be like consistency. So you don't got to be excited about it. Just get consistent about it. And I will tell you, if you have any kind of health issues or whatever, always check in with your doctor first and then your personal trainer to make sure that the exercises you are doing are good for your body. These are more tips for your mind. So get over the whole you're going to be excited, because if you're a normal person like me, the excitement is just never going to come, but the commitment can. So that's one. For those of you who either work from home or you have your own office, you are at a slight advantage with some of these tips, because I have something that I actually taught one of my aunts a couple months ago, and she's already dropped a couple dress sizes, which is called the 5-minute rule. So I hate when people tell me they ain't got time for this, they ain't got time for this, but you do have to go to the bathroom at some point, right? So when you get to the bathroom, that's the perfect place to drop and do a couple squats, because you really should be in that position, especially for us women. And that actually teaches you good formation with your squats, I think, because you're gonna need to be getting down, right? So a lot of people say they don't have time for this and time for that, especially with demanding careers and children. But what I say is, if you just have 5 minutes out of the day, especially if you run an abnormal day, like more than 8 hours, like I tend to do, then you want to be able to take 5 minutes here and there. Maybe you're going to drop and do some squats, but I really recommend like some strength training within 5 minutes. Now, I'm not saying you need to have free weights under your bed or whatever, but it's really bad to be sitting down nonstop for 8, 10, 12, 16 hours and not getting some movement into your body. So with the 5-minute rule, if you're around your desk, I'm talking for the people that are now have their own office and they're in person. If you're around your desk, you can do some sort of strength training and you just do it for 5 minutes. That's the 5 minutes you would have taken to go to the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Just do it for 5 minutes. And sometimes I do squats. Sometimes I do lunges, but strength training, that brings me to my next tip. A lot of you are more focused on cardio than you are strength training. As you're getting older, you're going to see that there's a lot more benefits to strength training than you thought. Baby, we got to save them knees and our back, okay? We got to save them. And some of you are going so die hard with cardio. It's my understanding that with cardio, when you stop working out, your muscles stop working. But with strength training, if you're consistent and you're at least doing that 3 days a week, them muscles are still activated and they're still doing what they're supposed to be doing. And that's how I instilled the 5-minute rule. So when I first started off yoga, I used to be shaking and shivering and stuff and like busting out in big old dirty sweats, like crazy, okay? Busting out in sweats, literally, because I could not even do 5 minutes out of this workout program. And then I realized 5 minutes a day is really all it takes. So I started off 5 minutes. If you guys remember my very first video, if you've been following me for a minute, before I made it on TikTok, before I made it on IG, if you've been following my very first video, and it's on my YouTube, where I'm literally like in my bonnet and I'm sweating and it's midday and I'm telling y'all like I'm about to die. I had just finished a 5-minute yoga routine. And what it was really like a 30-minute routine, but I could only do 5 minutes. So the joke was, I was like, I'm just going to be doing this for 2 weeks and then I'll probably quit yoga like I have been 900 times before I tried. But the funny thing is, maybe in the first week, all I could do was 5 minutes. And I remember when I was doing my downward facing dog and my arms are shaking and I'm sweating. And then next week I could do 6 minutes. Then before you know it, I was doing 10-minute workouts, and I started to actually see the changes in my body. Because with yoga, you're strength training against your own fat. So there's different types of strength training. There's weights, okay? You can be using weights and machines, but you can also strength train against your own fat. And that's what the 5-minute rule is really about. It's about strength training against your own fat. So whether you're doing some butt exercises and you're tucking them in, whether you lunging, whether you squatting, or maybe you're doing some arm exercises because you want to get the flab down. It's just in 5-minute increments. And little do you know, like 5 minutes actually builds up. So if I do 5 minutes in the mornings, then I have maybe 5 minutes during my lunchtime where I want to do like a little strength training exercise. And maybe I'll get 5 minutes in the evening before I get myself to bed. And this is strength training, so it's not cardio. So it shouldn't be something that really excites your heart to the point where it can affect your sleeping. But do your own research on what's good for you. So that's the main thing in my program. I love strength training. That's my thing. And in my yoga program, I have a lot of push-ups and planks, but it's also a lot of slow movements. And those slow movements really add up and they work your muscles. Let me just tell you. So now, whatever fitness routine that you're choosing, please do not start a fitness routine that does not have modifications. Modifications when you're new to the exercise. Modifications when you have back issues or knee issues. You need the modifications. Let me tell you with strength training, one day my body will feel like it can do a position easily, and the next day it may be struggling. Your body is different every day. What I love about yoga is that every pose is a full body pose, so I am working my body. I don't have to worry about isolating muscles. But if you're a strength training person and you like to isolate muscles, you got leg day, arm day, whatever that rocks your boat, that doesn't really work for me. I like the whole full body workout and exercises that are going to be working multiple muscles at one time. That's what works for me. You got to figure out what works for you. So that's strength training. So don't knock out the strength training. Y'all need to be drinking more water. Some of y'all are guzzling all this coffee daily and you are not getting down with water the way how you need to be drinking water. Please increase your daggone water intake. And when I say water, I don't mean sugar water. I don't mean Gatorade, okay? I mean pure water. Luckily, water is my favorite beverage. Shout out to the Poland Spring Corporation because that's my favorite water. So I tend to drink a lot of water daily, but lately I've been slipping and I've been having too much Canada Dry and too much Pepsi. So I need to really chill out on that. But as we get into the darkness of the time change and everything, I will get it together because I know I'm gonna have to. Once I'm deep into everything, I usually have a morning workout. But I know some people are night people, so maybe working out at night is for you. I don't know. Pre-2019, I had a 24-hour fitness gym membership. I think I kept it for 1 year and actually closed that account shortly before the pandemic started. Now, for the kind of schedule I work, the 24-hour fitness in my area opens from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. I need to be on the bus to the city by 6:15 a.m. for my work day. I don't get home till 9 p.m. and that's 6 to 7 days a week. This was pre-pandemic. You do the math. There's no way I could be at somebody's gym between the hours of 5 and 11. I know some people like to go midday in their lunchtime, but I'm a morning person, so I like to get my exercise out of the way early in the morning. So it just wasn't going to work. Utilize what you can do from home. I'm so tired of telling y'all, some of y'all are so obsessed with the gym, trying to make it to the gym for this, that, and the third. Utilize what you can do at home. And the 5-minute rule, you can do at home. You could have put that spaghetti on the stove and you doing some squats by the stove, or you doing some lunges, okay? Or you lifting some free weights. 5 minutes. That's all that I'm asking for. And you can Google on YouTube. There's so many different programs that can tell you what you can do in 5 minutes if you don't want to pay for one. So that's the next thing. A lot of people have stuff against working out at home and they say they can't focus. But the truth be told, y'all ain't making it to the gym either. Y'all paying that monthly fee and the gym ain't seen y'all since 2019. Okay, it's 2022, about to be 2023. Let's get real about it, or the gym is not seeing you as frequently as the gym should be seeing you. So I'm just letting you know, like, really be real with yourself. Try to utilize the time you have at home. It's going to seem very stupid to stop and do 5 minutes of squats. It's going to seem pointless. It's going to seem like, what are you doing? But I promise you, you are going to start to see changes in your body. You have to be realistic about your mind frame. You have to be realistic about the time you have. You have to be realistic about all these things. Now, I don't want this video to go over 15 minutes or it's going to give me issues on eggs. So I'm going to do a part 2 and I will be right back.